So how we all doing after that episode? So as you can tell from the title, today I am here to discuss the latest episode of Critical Role, which was officially bringing a close to the Traveler Con / Rumble Cuss story chapter, I guess you could say. We've obviously been waiting for Traveler Con for like over a year, right, at this point, so to actually have it is really fun. I was always obviously like pre all this quarantine stuff and everything, I always hoped that Traveler Con would be a live show, and I guarantee that is what they had, as long as they could like plan like when it was going to happen exactly. I think my main disappointment was just like that they didn't have like a theme that they were dressed to, but again, this is probably not how anyone pictured Traveler Con to go, aside from all the dicks. I mean, that was pretty much spot on. But yeah, it's been building these last couple episodes. I know a lot of people have been a little upset with the pace of the last few episodes and everything dealing with Bakoto, but I do feel like this was definitely a very good episode, a good mix of character development, storytelling, and there wasn't a lot of like actual fighting. Like, I don't know if they actually even had to roll initiative once. But I do think it was a really great episode and definitely one of my favorites. Storytelling can be just as good or even better because it continues the characters along, and I think that's really great, and we got to see that with Jester. Not only Jester, but with a lot of the other people that were just kind of taking moments aside to talk to each other in ways they haven't been, and I do think it was especially poignant about how wrapping up a chapter, where are we going to go next? Because it was kind of like we've wrapped up a lot of Caduceus' storyline, we've wrapped up a lot of Veth's storyline, obviously we've wrapped up a lot of Yasha's, like I'm just saying like their initial storylines, like the initial driving purposes for them, and they might have found new storylines now like with Ford and stuff like that, but I'm just saying that it's not so straight cut of like, oh, we're gonna go here next, we're gonna do this, we're gonna deal with Bo's problem next, like it's very much up in the air. So I think you could see definitely at least Caleb had that kind of uncertainty if everyone would follow him, and I do think the longer the campaign goes on, me myself personally, I do wonder if Veth is gonna leave and just Sam will make a new character, because I think Veth is extremely attached to these people and she loves them a lot, but as she said multiple times in this episode, she does have a family that she'd like to get back to. I'm always kind of waiting for if there's a moment where Veth is like, you know, I have to stay, or like I'm gonna go away for a while, and then like Sam will play a different character for a little bit. As much as I would miss Veth, I wouldn't be too upset with it because I do feel like it's kind of, it makes sense for her storyline, you know? Like, I don't think she would easily, like, just be like, I gotta dip, you know, and, like, go. But I do think there's gonna be a point where if this continues on, and especially if they get involved in more and more dangerous situations with the Empire and stuff like that, where Veth is gonna be like, I can't be involved in this anymore. Like, I have a family that I have to get back to. So that's kind of one thing I've always been looking out for. But, I mean, Caleb was kind of creepy weird. Like, my friend kept being like, evil Caleb, whenever he was saying, like, I've got things I need to do. But he specifically asked, like, Bo and Veth if they would come with him, and they were like, yeah. Bo was like, we have codependency issues and I love it, like we're not leaving any of you guys. That was really sweet and really cute, and just the whole scene of like the drinks and them dancing and trying to show Yasha how to dance, like the little wiggle, and I really love how comfortable they've all gotten with each other. I even think Bo, she had a really great moment with Ford where she was kind of like, I don't know what I want to do after this, but I kind of always imagine like you and me out on the seas, me as your first mate, and it was just such a cute moment because they really are like, they're one of my favorite duos in the group right now. I think their friendship is just so strong, and it always has been, and how they try and better themselves and look out for each other I think is really sweet. But then also getting her to be like, hey, so like what's your thoughts on Jester? And I feel like we didn't get too much because, you know, I think he rightfully was like, Ford was like, I don't know who I am right now, so how am I supposed to open up to someone else, and you know, how is that fair? And I think he's kind of like, I'm a lot happier than I've been in a while and a lot more assured with myself of not knowing what's happening, but like excited for life. And I think he kind of wants to explore that. I mean, I know a lot of it is Travis's kind of reluctance to roleplay romance, as he's always said, but I do feel like Ford, it makes sense for his character that, you know, he's kind of exploring all these new things and learning this new world. I will say personally I kind of ship him with Caduceus, but that's just me, but I like that. And then also like getting a little bit about Yasha and Bo, and how Bo, there's always been something about Yasha for Bo, and how she doesn't want to be that dick that kind of just flirts with her after Yasha has lost her wife. But I do think Bo doesn't know, but like we know from seeing Yasha that Yasha is taking the steps that she hasn't in a while through the grieving process, and I think is starting to get close to being ready for a relationship. So I think it would be really cute because I need more of the romance in my life, guys. Like, I know it's not important to the story necessarily, but It's so cute. Like, Vax and Keyleth are amazing. Vex and Percy are amazing. Like, it's just so cute, and to have those little moments I think are really cute. So I want more of those definitively. I don't want everyone being like, I'm not good enough for Jester and her not getting love and Bo and Yasha just doing this dance around each other. Like, I'm sick of it. And I will say, again, I'm not the biggest Ford and Jester ship. Like, I don't love it, but I'm not gonna be angry if they get together. Like, I personally like her more with Caleb, just saying. But again, I won't be angry if they get together. But I do think the scene where she was hanging onto the Traveler's legs when the Moonweaver was trying to take him and was like, no, don't let him go, and Ford used the hex blade to get up to her and was grabbing her by the shoulders and was like, I'm not strong enough to pull you off. You have to let go. Like, we're here for you. We're not going to let you fall. Like, that, oh, that whole scene was so amazing. Like, Ford in particular, just the emotion of being like, you have to let go, I think was so amazing. And then also Laura Bailey. Laura Bailey killed it, as she always does, with just crying and being like, that's my friend. Like, I'm not gonna let you take him. And I think, honestly, like, the whole scene with the Moonweaver was just like, I think everyone else kind of knew it was going to go wrong, but I am still fairly new to all this, so I feel like I was expecting it to not go that bad and that sideways, I will be honest. So when all that was happening, she was like literally pulling him out and was going to throw him back in the Feywilds. I was very, very worried that she was going to punish Jester. And then when she turned to Jester and was like, you love him so much, are you willing to take his place in his punishment? I knew for a fact that she would in a heartbeat. So I was really, really nervous because I knew if Jester had to answer, like, even if Laura didn't want to leave the group, like, Jester, that's in her character that she would leave. I was really happy that he ended up pushing her off, like kicking her away, because I was like, if she ends up taking his place and he doesn't stop her, like, that means to me that he doesn't really love her and he's not a true friend, because a true friend wants the best for you and he wouldn't want her imprisoned in a way for him, you know? So I was really happy when he did kick her off, because I feel like that showed that he really does love her and there is a true friendship there. So that was really good, because I was just worried for most of it. I'm still worried a little bit about, like, now he's just like out there doing his stuff. He says he's learned his lesson, but has he really? I think at least what makes me happy is that all the cards are kind of on the table and that we know he really does care for Jester, and he cares for the group because Jester cares for them, he said. So I don't worry so much about, like, him messing with them. And then I also think that the group was very vocal in not liking him and being like, we don't trust you. If you mess with Jester, like, we're coming after you. I think that was also really good to see. And I even like when he was trying to get in the dome and Caleb wouldn't let him. Like, he put his hand on it and Caleb would be like, there's a split second before he's allowed in. Like, I just think it was very, it's like when you have a friend that's a bad influence, but, like, they're cool with you. They get you into a lot of trouble. And your other friends are like, this isn't a person that you should be hanging out with. So I think Jester will always have a friendship with him. I just don't think the Mighty Nine, I mean, they flat out said, they were like, yeah, we don't like you. So I don't think they're ever gonna like him, and I think this just solidified it. But I do hope someone talks to Jester about how she was probably more than willing to sacrifice herself and take his place. I don't think she realizes just how much the Nine need her and how much they love her and need her around. I think Caleb nailed it flat on the head, like, a while ago when he said that she's so happy that that happiness can be masking a sadness, and I do think she has some insecurities. So I'm just really hoping that someone, you know, in case she's ever in a situation like that again, like, being like, don't do that, we need you, we're here for you. It was a stressful episode, but very, very good storytelling and very good character development, and it went a lot better than it could have been. I mean, the Moonweaver did let him go. It was kind of just like a warning of, like, don't mess with me. A lot of the villagers ended up either staying or finding their true peace, which was awesome. The Mighty Nine is now moving on to Nicodranas, and we're gonna see Yeza and probably Luke and the Ruby of the Sea, who are Nicodranas is one of my favorite places they go to. I love the beach. I love the Ruby of the Sea. I love how Jester is so light and carefree there, and I'm really excited for them to go back to Nicodranas, honestly, and to see Yeza. Yeza is one of my favorite characters. So overall, I think it was a really, really great episode. A lot went sideways in more ways than I expected. I do think TravelerCon as a whole was a flying success. Like, when Veth glued the golden dick to Celia's hand and she can't get it off, when Sam was like, she cannot get that off except with a wish spell, and everyone's face was like, are you kidding me? Like, let chaos reign. That's all I can say. Let chaos reign. It was just so good. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the fan art will come out of this, but also what this has in store for the future, because there are a lot of relationships that I think had been going unsaid. Now they were more said. Like, we kind of got a better idea of where Ford is in his headspace. We also, like, again, as a Caleb and Jester shipper, I'm always going to look for this stuff, and I feel like with how much he helped her out, even with not believing really in the Traveler, not liking the Traveler, like, with how much he helped her out, I think was really sweet and really cute. Oh, and when he was like, I don't have a home to go back to or whatever, and Jester was like, you're my home. Like, that was so, so sweet. And I get it, like, obviously, like, all the Nines are home, not just Caleb, but, like, for Caleb, I think that means a lot, that someone as who he sees as so pure and sweet and innocent as Jester, in a way, you know, like, I guess aggressive wise innocent, not like dirty mind wise innocent, sees him as someone who's safe and comforting, I think means a lot to him. So I'm really excited for what the future holds. I am a bit worried about evil Caleb, like my friend Jess said, because he was getting a little crazy. He was getting a little cuckoo-eyed with the, like, we need to go back to the Empire, I need to figure out what the king is doing. Like, I was like, okay, hold on. Like, your face and your aggressiveness is freaking me out right now. Like, let's just enjoy Traveler Con. So, I'm so excited for the next episode, and also Talks Machina is coming back, which will be really great to see their thoughts on Traveler Con. I will say that when Bow tackled Cecilia, I full-on also thought Cecilia was about to throw herself into the lava. So, Bow is 100% justified in that for me, because literally I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna throw herself in the lava. And then Bow, like, dived and tackled her, and Matt was like, she wasn't gonna throw herself in the lava. And I was like, I'm right there with you, Bo. Like, I don't blame you at all. So, if you've seen this episode, please feel free to leave your thoughts about down below in the comments, what you thought about Traveler Con and the reveal with the Moonweaver and everything like that. And if you would like to see more Critical Role wrap-ups in the future. This is the first one I've done. I just thought it would be kind of a fun thing to do, especially since there were so many thoughts on that last episode. So, yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!